Welcome to John Gillespie's Waters and Woods. We're up in St. Germain, Wisconsin, fishing with our buddies Rob Manthei and Chris MacGillis.
These fish are all in our harbors.
Close to 14 there.
Are you having fun?
I'm having a blast.
Fleet Farm presents John Gillespie's Waters and Woods. Fleet Farm, the ultimate fishing headquarters.
Yes, folks, back up in St. Germain with our buddy guide, Rob Manthei. And Rob, we're getting into that time of summer where you get some really hot days, some in the 90s, and we got a kind of a cool day today. But in the hot weather, the dog days of summer, for the game fish, you go a little deeper.
Yeah, you still finding a lot of fish around weeds, but when you are looking at these type of water temperatures, when we're in the upper 70s, fish are going to be a little bit sluggish, so we're going to be switching a lot of stuff to live bait.
And I've been using leeches a long time, but a lot of folks wonder, how do you hook up a leech? Is it first of all, you use the smallest jig possible, but how do you put the leech on?
Yeah, I mean, the good rule of thumb is to go as light of a jig as you can still feel, but still maintain bottom contact. And obviously there's a head and a tail to the leech, and you want to try to at least get the jig through the sucker or very close, because that's like the most meaty and strongest part of the leech.
Well, we'll have fun today. I don't know what we're going to catch. All species, probably. We have our guest today, Chris MacGillis, personal injury lawyer, and Blake is with us too.
Yeah, it's good to see you're back.
Yeah, we'll have fun. Hey folks, so show you more about what we're using and how we're using it. All of that coming up right after this. I'll tell you what, folks, I've been a proud user of Amsoil for many years, and us sportsmen a lot of times not only have a truck, but a boat, an ATV, a snowmobile. And how do you figure out which Amsoil product to use in each machine?
Yeah, that can be a challenge sometimes, and we make it easy. We've got a lookup guide. You just go to amsoil.com, you put in your vehicle, whatever it may be, whether it's a boat, a wheeler, a truck, a trailer, whatever. You pick out your product, it tells you how much and which product to put in, real simple.
And one thing I want to mention too, Amsoil does a ton of research before you even put the product on the market. You make sure that it's the best.
That's correct. It's years in the making for a product to launch. There's a ton of research and development to make sure that it's going to protect like it's supposed to.
And folks, to find the Amsoil you want, go to amsoil.com. Hey, welcome back, folks. It's so nice to have Blake back. You got married recently.
I did. I am now Mrs. Rowan.
Oh, I can't call you Blake Gillespie anymore?
Well, yeah, I'm going to call myself Blake Gillespie, but yes, I got married to Mitchell.
No, congratulations, and we're looking at a little bit of the video from the wedding. It was a lot of fun. Ryan, the photographer, was there. It was great, wasn't it?
It was beautiful. Thank you.
Okay, well, now you got to get back to fishing, all right?
Yes, I'm glad to be back in the boat.
Hey, there we go, Blake. Oh, flip them in. Nice walleye to start our day.
Nice Walter.
And it's interesting, you put on an 1/8-ounce jig, or actually a quarter, and Rob had you switch.
Yep. So I had to go to a little smaller jig with just a leech, and you just, let it get to the bottom, and you jiggle it, and here he is.
Look at the pretty gold color on that fish,
this is a perfect eater, isn't it?
I know, yeah, that's about a 16-incher. Good start. And Rob, we should tell the folks, what type of water are we fishing here, depth and weed-wise?
Well, we're fishing the deepest weeds that we can find, John. We're in about 17, 18 feet of water, fishing parallel and casting out a little bit. We're dealing with a little bit of a cool front today after we've just had some extreme heat, so these fish might might be a little sluggish until you know, the day kind of settles in, but you know, we're working along here, and just fishing parallel right now this time of year is kind of the key.
Ooh, Robbie, and that is on that slip bobber,
Yeah,
huh?
little bass.
Little bass, let's see there. Largemouth, smallmouth?
Smallmouth.
But all the game fish are hanging out in this area, huh?
Yeah, no, it's not uncommon at this time of year to be getting a mix of bass and walleyes, John.
Hey, there we go. Chris MacGillis on the jig and leech. Here he is, and
Walter, John.
that one's going to be a little short.
I think
And
so.
one thing, Chris, how did that thing hit, and how are you working that jig?
I was working it slow right on the bottom, John.
Okay, and he hit pretty good?
Yeah, hit real nice.
And give him a second or two, or what?
Yeah, let him take it. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Little small, but hey, we're getting started.
All right, Rob. Let's see, walleye, you
Oh,
think?
no, largie.
A largemouth bass. That's what's so cool this time of year, folks. Actually, you need the net?
No, it's not
That's
my rod.
the pro bass flipping you're doing there. And you know, you and I talk about this all the time. Folks want to come up here and target largemouth. There's a lot of cool lakes and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, actually, you know, if you wanted to target largemouth, I mean, a lot of the little backwoods lakes that you can get in with a kayak or even wade around are actually a lot more fun. You know, you and I did that some years ago, but you know, those are virtually untouched.
MacGillis!
Hey, buddy.
I'll tell you what, he's the best fishing attorney I know. Let's see what we got coming in here.
Got a walleye? Think it's a walleye,
You
John.
need the net?
Now I'm gonna flip her in.
Flip in! Oh, that's a nice fish there. Good job, Chris. What was that on?
That was on the Ned, John.
You love that Ned rig, don't you?
I do. It's a great lure, and what I love about it, you can catch so many different kind of species, John.
And you're working real slow.
Real slow on the bottom. I'm getting a lot of bluegill bites, and you just that tap, 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 that quick tap, and those walleyes just thunk it.
Hey, I want to thank you. You know, you're a personal injury attorney, and you've actually taken care of a couple of our viewers, haven't you?
We have, John. It's been great communicating with them, talking with them about fishing, just going through things, hearing stories. Love it.
All right, Blake. Let's see what we got.
All right.
Oh, that's a nice walleye.
Nice walleye. Oh, he ate that bait. Wow, look at that.
Okay, we got to show the folks what you're using. First of all, that's a nice, solid 16, 17 incher.
Yes, beautiful fish.
So you copied MacGillis. Let's see.
Yes,
Here,
so
I'll
this
get
is-
the hook out for you, or do you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
And then you can show the folks there. Boy, did he ever eat that, huh?
Yeah.
But
he
that
hit
is
it-
an interesting bait.
Yes. So this is the Kalen's Tickle Ned rig.
Okay.
And
Yeah, we'll show it to him.
yeah, so MacGillis was using a Ned rig, and
Yeah.
this has, you know, little appendages, and you just slowly work it on the bottom. And he actually hit it for a second, and then he came back.
Good to have you back on the boat producing
Yeah.
the walleyes.
It's fun to be back.
But no, that is an interesting looking bait. That
Yes,
really is.
but it clearly works.
And it's got, yeah, like you said,
These little appendages right here. Yep.
and working real slow.
Really slow on the bottom.
Hey, look at that. The new Kalen's Ned rig system is working good.
Yes, it is. Largie, though, this time, John.
Oh, that's all right. How big is it?
It's pretty small.
Oh, yeah. But again, Blake just caught that walleye, so.
Well,
and
this-
Rob, you know, when do you decide to move to a different weed bed? When you start catching a lot of panfish and stuff, or what?
Yeah, you know that, or when you stop marking fish. You know, we just came into a little corner right here and just, you know, marked some fish, and obviously there's bass and walleyes here. But you know, biggest mistake is staying in a spot too long.
Okay.
You know, if you're not getting bit or you're not seeing fish on your electronics, move and just keep looking and searching.
Breaking news from Fleet Farm. Check out this deal. The Rapala Crush City Plastics are on sale, 2 for $9.
There goes the bobber, John.
Slip bobber, slip bobber.
There you go.
Nice. That is cool. You use a little longer rod for that, right?
Yep. Oh, yeah. Oh, what we got here? We got
Hopefully a
ourselves a wally.
Yeah, that's a nice walleye rod. And that slip bobber technique is really a nice way to take a family out fishing, isn't it?
It's super easy and effective, you know. I mean, that's just a nice chunker fish right there. Yeah, I mean, slip bobbers, you know, one thing that you need to do, you know, is you either got to be anchored or spot locked. You know, you can't try to drift and make this technique work. You know, basically you're going to use the wind to cast up and let it just go right down the edge. And, you know, I'm setting it about 2 foot off the bottom, and I got a little clam tungsten jig there with the leech and pitch it out, and just, who doesn't like watching a bobber?
I know, I love that too. And you're allowed 3 rods a person in Wisconsin, so you might as well utilize them, right?
Right, but I'm only good enough with one.
This is a nice fish, Dad.
What happened?
Oh, I just smacked it. It's pretty heavy, Rob.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
Okay, that's cool.
It is a bass.
What do we got there, Rob? Oh, that's a nice bass, Blake.
Man, they never get old. I love bass fishing, and man, did he eat that. And he fought a lot bigger than I thought he would be. But
So you're casting out, and what do you do?
I just slowly work this on the bottom of the lake.
And if you get a weed, you pull it off the weed?
Yep.
Hold that up. Nice fish. Yeah. What's that thing called again?
This is called the Tickle Ned Leech by Kalen's.
Here we go, Rob.
What do you got there, Johnny?
I think it's fighting like a walleye. Might be a bass. Let's see. Here he comes.
Staying down.
Staying down nice. Let's see. We got
It is
ourselves
a bass.
Bass. Amazing, though, today how many largemouth are on these weed edges, folks. And that's something to try in all the lakes in Wisconsin, these deeper weed edges. Bass use them a lot this time of year. We were fishing the lakes of Vilas County, a 4-hour drive from Milwaukee, 5 hours from Chicago, and 3.5 hours from Minneapolis.
If you are a spring walleye fisherman, grab some of these. They're an incredible bait. Kalen's, rattling Google Eye, hair jigs. Right there, Ryan. Ooh, that one pounded it. Wow, dude, that is my first cast. Beautiful walleye right there on the hair, man. Perky, lively, smacking hair jigs. Doesn't get much better, does it? Big, fat, chunky spring walleyes.
Out here, it takes a certain type. The type who's always the first one out. The type who knows deep down everyone else is just fishing for second. Enter the Apex Series. See more fish. Seize more victories. Settle for nothing less. With unrivaled clarity, it's the top fish finder for the most demanding type of angler. Only from Humminbird.
Folks, I've relied on Johnson Pump products for many years, and now they're even better. Check out the new Aqua Void Bilge and the Aqua O2 Aerator.
The best advantage with the new products is no tools necessary to replace your motor cartridge. Quick watertight connector and the same easy change cartridge. With the new motor cartridges, we have a high efficiency impeller and a low amp draw motor. To the angler, they're gonna have faster fill of their live wells, and they're gonna have better aeration along with a faster evacuation of their bilge. This pump will fit on any boat. It has a multi-configuration inlet port as well as a 360 rotation outlet port.
Johnson Pump, reliability on board.
You got one on,
I'll
Dad?
tell you,
Got
when
a
in
double.
Rome. All right, you got one. Let me see what I got on here. This feels pretty good.
So you switched to the Tickle
Here he
Ned
comes.
Leech. That's what it's called. Oh,
you got
nice
a
fish,
nice little
Dad.
better bass.
That's a nice bass right there. Okay, let's see what MacGillis has.
I got a bass too, John. Here we
Oh
go.
yeah, those are nice bass. Here, I'm gonna actually swing this up to you, Chris, or Rob, and you guys can hold those up together. Here, Rob, hold this up next to Chris's. Those are really pretty nice bass. Yeah, those are decent, aren't they, Rob?
Yeah, for northern Wisconsin, those are decent fish, yeah, and fun. You know, they fight.
Oh, Chris, you having fun, buddy?
Hey man, Ned Rag, we're doing pretty good. I think we found a pattern.
Yeah, and when fishing's tough, you got a little cold front. The smaller bait, the better, Rob.
Yeah, generally so. Yeah, we're down to 1/8 ounce jig. You know, just these small little plastic Neds, and you got the whatever the Ned leech deal here. But yeah, everything's small. Even the leeches that they're biting are the smaller leeches.
I don't
What do
know
you
what
got?
this- I don't know.
Well, hurry up. Oh, there you go.
Giant crappie.
That's a beautiful. Hey, Rob, take a look at that, buddy. That's
I see it.
nice crappie.
Yeah.
Wow. Is that common that panfish are around these game fish?
I mean, on a day like today, who knows? But
Yeah.
crappies definitely in late summer are relating to weed edges.
Well,
So should we try for them or what?
Yeah, of course we will.
Yeah, and they're sitting in 20 feet of water, Rob?
No, I mean, we're right on a very tight break. I mean, that's literally about 12 foot there, right on the edge is where that
Boy,
fish
that's
came
a
from.
nice crappie, Blake.
Yep, on the Tickle Ned leech.
So, Rob, Blake just caught that crappie, so they never travel alone. It is a good idea right now. Put our crappie lures on and see if there's more.
Yeah, let's do that for a bit, you know. I mean, yeah, you're right. They're generally a schooling fish, and we're just out here to have some fun, so let's see if we can find some crops.
Yeah, and that was a decent crappie.
Yeah, no, it was a nice one. There's one, John.
Way to go there, Rob. Our first crappie, I hope.
Yeah, it's a crappie.
Oh, that's a nice one. Nice eater
Well,
size.
at least Blake's fish has one friend.
Yeah, no kidding. But that is what you and I like to do. We carry rods in our boat for all different species. And when you see a crappie like that, normally they're not alone.
Eater.
And you just kind of move up and down the weed edge.
Yeah, that fish was right on the edge there, John. You know, we got this little parallel wind coming in here, and I would imagine as long as we just keep working along the edge here, we'll pick away at them.
Here we go, Rob, back of the boat, and I have
Got a little
myself
fella.
a little guy, and they're all mixed in there. But I'll tell you what the bait we're using, folks, and it is both Rob's and my favorite bait, and that is the Kalin's scrub right there. And they just can't resist those little legs, and just put that underneath the rocket bobber and fish above the weeds. Yay!
Yay! Crappie!
Blake, get in the action. Let's see that one.
That's a beauty.
Isn't that a nice fish?
Yeah.
And did you notice when you caught that crappie earlier, Blake, how Rob said, let's do the old switcheroo?
Well, it makes sense. You know, where there's one, there's more, you'd think, right? And
Yeah.
there are.
And that bobber fishing is so fun, isn't it?
No matter the age, it will always be fun.
Now it's your turn.
Not quite as big, but
No, but that one you could eat, right?
oh yeah, no, that would actually be the preferred size that I would like to eat.
And you know, with these baits, you got a little bit of a wave today. You really hard to.
Yeah, no, that cast, I just threw upwind and thought, you know what, I'm just gonna sit there and watch it, and the waves did all the work.
Yeah, the waves are moving like that, and those little legs down there are going like that.
Oh, MacGillis.
MacGillis!
Has got one.
Here we go.
Hey, way to go, MacGillis. There you go, buddy.
Now, John, I went a little bit different. I'm throwing just the 1/32 out Kalin's jig head with a little small minnow on it, no bobber.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I'm just working it slow like you would a normal paddle tail, and they're coming up and hitting that.
Well, I'm glad we stopped and did this, you know, because the walleye fishing wasn't red hot today. But Rob, can you almost always count on these crappies all summer long on these weed edges?
Yeah, on most lakes, crappies are going to relate, you know, if you can find a wall of weeds, whether it's coontail or cabbage, where it's like just a complete abrupt, you know, distinct massive edge, you know, and you get some wind blowing into it, you know, you're going to find if the lake's obviously got crappies,
Right.
You're going to find crappies banked up right against that edge like that.
Well, taking a look at that Humminbird 2D right now, you can ask that wall of weeds is pretty easy.
Yeah,
to
it's
find.
very distinct, and you know, you just sit and work that along, and you know, you can just almost find exactly where they're sitting. You know, you cast up, you get caught in weeds, find the edge, you know, and then that's where you're going to adjust your cast to.
It's now time to announce this week's winners of the Fleet Farm, John Gillespie's Waters and Woods 2024 Fishing Contest. This week's first winner is Thomas Pongraz of Eureka, Illinois. Caught this 12 1/4-inch bluegill on a local pond in Florida using a beetle spin. Douglas Farrell of Forest City, Iowa caught this 15-inch crappie on a farm pond using a twister tail. Joe Martell of Lodi, Wisconsin caught this 50-inch muskie on the Wisconsin River using a 1/4-ounce jig and a Kalin's plastic. Hayden Beagle of Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin caught this 45.5-inch northern pike in Ontario using a Kalin's grub. And this week's first kid winner is Caleb Glish of Jackson, Wisconsin caught this 13-inch crappie on Big St. Germain using a Roadrunner. And Molly Glish of Jackson, Wisconsin caught this 23-inch walleye on Big St. Germain using a jig. Each week, I shop online at fleetfarm.com to check out the latest deals. This week, 20% off Berkley Trilene XL and XT monofilament fishing line on sale starting at $7.19. And when you buy an Ugly Stick GX2 spinning or casting rod for $49.95, you get a free $10 Fleet Farm gift card.
Meet Chris MacGillis of MacGillis Wiemer, experienced personal injury lawyers.
John, you've gotten to know me. I mean, I'm a really passionate person. Everyone on my staff is, everyone on my team is. You know, we are passionate about what we do. Helping somebody out, protecting them, doing everything we can to help tell their story, to make sure they're treated fairly, with integrity and with respect, and get a fair resolution, whatever that is for the client. I mean, that's extremely important to us. That's really all that matters.
You know, that wind has picked up a little bit, which actually gives your bait more action, you know? Let's see, here he
got
is,
a nice
Rob.
one there,
This
Gillespie.
looks like a real nice one.
Yeah.
There.
Careful.
Oh, there is a nice crappie right there. No, but seriously, we talked about it a little bit before. You get nice wind like this, and you can see my bobber right now in the water going up and down, and that is enough action to make these fish bite. You can just cast out and let it sit. And Rob, you know, as we get into like August and that, do these fish stay in this area? They don't move deeper?
No, they're gonna stay on these weed edges like this throughout. I mean, we've done shows in September doing the same thing, if you recall. But yeah, it's just a matter of getting on the wind-blown edge, you know, finding them, and again, you know, not staying in the same spot forever, moving around, because, you know, when this water is this warm, these fish aren't that active. They're willing to feed. You pick off a couple that are active in the school, you got to move. You know, they're scattered all along this whole edge. Ooh, I got one too.
Ooh, double header going here. Mine's a nice one.
Yeah.
Let's see how yours is here, buddy. I love crappie fishing. You know that. You and I have been, are those dandies. Now, you and I have been fishing together, what, 20 years, 20-some years?
Oh, yeah.
And you and I both, I know you're a musky nut, but these are fun.
Yeah, well, you know, and part of the reason we're doing this is actually that, you know, we're kind of at that danger level on a lot of lakes with, you know, water temps pushing 80.
Right.
So, I mean, doing this is just fine.
So what you're talking about, Rob, and we should talk about it a little bit. We get into August coming up, and the water temperatures get into that 80-degree area. You don't like to fish muskies?
Well, if it does, I mean, whenever the water temperature gets to that, it doesn't matter what month it is, it's just not a good thing to do.
That's so fun. I mean, I just cast it back to that same area where I
know,
caught
and I'm
that
going to
last
take your
one.
spot, too.
These are really, what a nice battle on these light rods, you know? You all right?
Yeah. No,
Whoa, look
easy.
at the size of that one, you guys. That is a beautiful crappie right there. And again, doing this in the middle of the day. And, you know, when I was a kid in the summertime, the only time you could catch crappies, it seemed, was real early in the morning and late before, you know, the sun goes down. That is a beautiful fish. But time of day doesn't really matter that much?
I think as long as you have some wind, you know, I mean, wind is always your friend, but I mean, if it was dead calm right now, we wouldn't be catching these fish.
I'm glad Blake caught that first crappie and we stopped and did this. That's a gorgeous fish wherever you go right there. What is that, a solid 12?
Yeah, it might actually be a little bigger than that.
Nothing says party like a hot tub party, especially with the Johnsonville Summer Shandy brats. Start off by cooking your Johnsonville Summer Shandy brats low and slow on the grill for about 20 minutes. Then caramelize onions and butter and bay leaves. Once that's caramelized, add your Summer Shandy beer. Once that's to temperature, you can add your brats, and whenever you're ready to have a brat, it's going to be perfect. So what's so great about this hot tub is that you can eat it whenever you want because you know it will be hot and ready to eat. Let's give it a try. Oh my gosh, delicious. Johnsonville Summer Shandy Brat Hot Tub. Find the recipe at johnsonville.com.
Well, Rob had to go to work, so we are out here alone now, guys. Blake and Chris and I. And that's eater size right there. Oops, can you grab that, Chris? That's an eater size right there. No, Rob, of course, owns St. Germain Lodge and Fibber's Restaurant, and one of your favorite restaurants, isn't it?
Love the fish fry.
The fish fry is excellent, and they have great steaks and chops and everything else. But yeah, he had to get in there and get to work, and St. Germain Lodge is the buildings right behind, of course, Fibber's Restaurant. So if you stay there, what do?
Grab a fish fry, grab a drink. It's perfect.
Yeah, it is good. Hold that up. That's an eater size right there. There we go. This seems like a little, not too bad. Another eater size right there. And the thing that Rob told me about, Chris, that I really enjoy is that you don't have to get up real early in the morning, like I was talking about before, that these fish will bite all day. And it's very, very important to spot lock outside the weeds and cast up to the edge. And we got that nice breeze right now, so cast out in front of you and just let the wind carry it down. There we go. Chris, come on, you got to get in this, buddy.
Hey, I'm trying. I'm loving watching you catch these fish, John. You're putting on a tutorial today.
Well, let's see what this guy.
Oh, that's a beauty, John.
Is it a nice one? Oh, yeah, that is.
Look
a
at
nice
that one, John.
Yeah, that's a damn. Ooh, nice job. MacGillis saved me there. And you could hold them up because that's half your catch. Now, seriously, you do a lot of fishing. These are nice crappies, aren't they?
These are beautiful. Look at this thing. That's a solid 11, 12 incher. Just full, big, solid fish.
And what I like too is the width on these things. I'm turning that way a little bit. You know, some lakes crappies are thin.
Yep.
Obviously, they're feeding well here because you get some nice fillets off that. And I recommend that if folks are going to go crappie fishing, you know, some lakes are 25. You really don't need 25. 10 is plenty for, you know, my wife and I and who's ever there. You know,
yeah,
2
absolutely.
or 3 fillets a piece is plenty.
Look at that, John.
Yeah, pretty fish. You were getting so frustrated.
Oh, man.
Weren't you?
I was.
Yeah, you know, we moved to a different spot. And these fish on this spot seem smaller than the last spot, you know?
Well, John, I was sick of watching you kick my butt all day.
With the crappies,
What the viewers didn't see is you working your bobber so nicely, working the cadence.
I'm actually doing a little, you know, like we talked about, Rob talked about earlier, just a little pop once in a while.
Yep.
For a great place to stay in the Northwoods, call St. Germain Lodge. That phone number is 715-542-3433.
The waters in the woods, John calls home.
Oh, Pete, I'm getting too old for this.
So, John, you haven't heard of Brian's Custom Steps?
Oh, Pete, those are awesome. How can I get a set?
Yeah, I love these big no-slip platforms, and they're made right here in Wisconsin.
For more information on Brian's Custom Steps, call 920-315-0333.
We had a great couple of days, don't you think?
It was
a blast.
It was a really good time.
And folks, that is our show for today. Please join us next week. I don't know where we're going to fish yet, but we'll find a place somewhere. Until then, I'm Blake Gillespie, hoping to see you enjoying John Gillespie's Waters and Woods.